That's a lot of skulls, isn't it? One Down and Mayhem, two new difficulties added to the game. So I won't make this too long, I'll just briefly go over the main changes to the new difficulties and kind of give a few impressions of it. So now the game's difficulty from lowest to highest is normal, hard, very hard, overkill, mayhem, deathwish, and one down. Mayhem that was added is a middle ground between overkill and deathwish, so since we've already been playing with a supposedly harder difficulty, I won't be going over it too much. I only tried it a few times, and for the most part, it kind of feels like deathwish, so make of that what you will. But that's not really why we're here. The most interesting thing added is, of course, one down difficulty. It's not quite like the tournament difficulty, and it's really quite challenging. There are enemies that got brand new skins, and they're now called the Zeal Team, which is a pretty nice addition, I think. Of course, as expected, enemies have a crap ton of health, and they do a crap ton of damage as well. Should be fairly obvious from watching the gameplay. There were a few tweaks in the mechanics too. The specifics, I'm not too entirely sure, but for the most part, explosives aren't nearly as useful as they once were before, like the Tournament Edition. And also like the Tournament Edition, bulldozers can sprint around, and they're no longer stunned by anything. The bulldozer's new abilities are also a feature that is shared amongst each difficulty now, so no matter what difficulty, they'll be able to sprint and they won't be stunned. So bulldozers will be a little bit harder to take down from now on. In a nutshell, you can kind of expect everything you would from a harder difficulty. I mean, enemies hit harder, they take a lot more punishment, they spawn really fast and in crazy amounts, and you kind of really need optimized builds and coordinated teams to do heists on one down difficulty. Another big change about this difficulty is that unlike the others, you only have one down before you go gray, as the name implies. So if you go down once, you're gray, go down a second time, you'll go right into custody. No more 3 downs before you have to med up. 9 lives still works, gives you 1 extra life, but other than that, that was probably one of the biggest additions to the game that really makes things challenging. So like I said, for the most part, other than a few specific changes like the bulldozer and the one down mechanic, you can kind of expect everything you normally expect from a harder difficulty. Concerning the stealth aspect of one down difficulty, it's not actually all that different. In fact, the only difference I can think of is, for whatever reason, Dominator no longer works in stealth. So you can't dominate cops anymore, you'll have to shoot them or, well, just go around them. Other than that, I've been playing around with stealth heists, and I didn't notice a change in guards, cameras, pathing, you name it. The only thing that I want to add is that stealth is a little bit more odd now, since even weak enemies have a lot of health. So if you get spotted and guards go into alert status, you better be prepared to shoot a lot more than you used to kill them. But other than that, that's really all I got to say for now. I think the best way to find out more about this difficulty is just to try it out and experience it for yourself. It's kind of hard to explain, and it's probably better for you if you just find out yourself.